All in Sports Network. We love sports.
It is Friday, September 19th, right here on your daily fix for all things Texas Longhorns. I'm Tanner Carlson. That is Jake Jimerson, and this is All In Horns presented to you by Rogue Sports Network. Today's episode, we're going to take a deep dive a deep enough dive into Sam Houston State's defense compared to our offense and how much of this game can actually be a get-right game for Texas. It's time for us to flip the switch of pessimism to a little bit of optimism. Week 4 predictions as well. We'll go through the slate of games throughout the college football landscape, and we will give our predictions of how we think those games are going to go. Again, Jake, this Sam Houston State defense, putrid? Is that the right word for me to use there?
Yeah, I mean, this Sam Houston team, quite honestly, is just the worst team Texas has played against in some time.
Years. They're borderline FCS. They're
an FCS level team. They would
lose to North Dakota State probably.
Yeah, they wouldn't win the national championship in the FCS or anything right now. They've won one not that long ago, but that team would beat the snot out of this team.
Right.
They're very much in kind of a rebuilding year, and their pass defense particularly has struggled a lot this year, and so this should be the perfect get-right game if there ever was one for this offense.
And the sad part is, though, Jay, the get-right isn't necessarily going to be right because it's not going to mean a lot other than, Arch can hit a wide-open wide receiver 15 yards down the field in stride, and they can get something going offensively.
Let me counter that real quick.
Okay.
It will mean a hell of a lot inside that building. And inside that building is all that matters. And inside the head of Arch Manning matters.
Yeah,
inside the receivers' minds matters. Inside the defensive players' minds for confidence that the offense can perform. It matters. For the coaches, it matters. Them hitting the easy stuff matters. Because guess what? If they had been hitting wide open wide receivers, we wouldn't be having the conversations we've been having this week.
Right.
They've been beating themselves. It's been nothing that the other team is doing to them. And yes, the offensive line hasn't been great too. But bottom line is, if Arch Manning plays better, that we're not having as serious of conversations about this offense as we've been having. I don't think the fan base is freaking out close to the level that they have been if Arch Manning was just playing good. And so this could be a game that gets, because we've said we both think it's mental. Arch Manning thinks it's mental. The coaching staff seems to think it's mental. People close to the program all seem to think it is a mental thing that is going on. What's the best way to get out of the yips, out of the mental issues? To just go out there and perform well. And it doesn't matter if it's against air or if it's against a terrible opponent. Just seeing those completions, having a bye week, then going into Florida, it means a lot, because if they go out there and play like they against UTEP, it doesn't matter that Sam Houston's defense isn't good. They're not going to score that many points again, because guess what? Wide open receivers are wide open wide receivers. It doesn't matter if you're playing against Ohio State or you're playing against Sam Houston. If they're wide open and you just throw it at their feet, it makes no difference.
Right. Jake, let's go ahead and let's dive into the numbers briefly. Some of these numbers may shock you, like a lot. This is not something we ever thought we would see from a Texas offense, especially one that is led by Steve Sarkisian, but here we are. And so points per game, Texas is number 92 in the country. However, Sam Houston State at 130. I think that is about second to last, third, fourth to last. I don't know how many.
And that's their defense giving up. We're doing Texas offense to Sam Houston defense.
Yeah. So their opponent's point per game is around 38.7. Texas is averaging on offense about 24 points per game. Yards per game, Texas is earning about 382. That's good for 77 in the country. Sam Houston State, 442 opponents' yards given up on defense. That's good for 125. Yards per play, Texas is 93. Sam Houston State's defense is 109. Third down conversion, believe it or not, Sam Houston State's defense has a better percentage, or at least ranked higher than Texas's third down conversion rate. You heard that right, folks. Texas is 126 on third down conversion rate, a whopping 43.7%, where Sam Houston State is giving up 48.9, or allowing 48.9%, which is good for 123. Again, it's just been one of those years, one glaring for the overall offense stat for me is red zone scoring percentage, 61.5% for Texas's offense, which is good for 130th ranking in the entire country. Whereas Sam Houston State, they are allowing 100% opponent red zone scoring, so at least a field goal. And so they are good for 102. That just proves to me that there are a lot of teams that give up a lot of points in the red zone. So Texas should be able to capitalize somewhere there. But yeah, Sark also going to be going for it on fourth down. I don't imagine the field goal to going for it on fourth down ratio is going to change in this game if Texas gets to a fourth down.
It'll change come Florida. I do think he'll change his philosophy at least a little bit.
He'll take points when he can get them, knowing this offense.
Depending the situation, but yes, when there's a good thought process behind kicking the field goal, I do think he will elect to kick more field goals in SEC play. But I do think he's just trying to. I mean, he's just trying to get every single play that he can for this offense in these games. I stood by that. I argued with people online about not caring if it's 17-3 versus 14-3 against UTEP. The 3 points does quite literally nothing for me. When they kicked the field goals and went up 20-3, guess what it did for me? Absolutely nothing.
Not even a wiggle.
Yeah, no, not just even nothing. Just
nothing.
Flaccidity. And so
great word choice.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the numbers, and we won't run over them all, but just looking at what's not awful for Texas. Funny enough, 20+ yard pass plays, they have 10 of them, 48th in the nation. That's not completely horrible. That's where they look the best, other than just amount of times they've rushed it per game, which tells you when everyone complains about Sark not sticking to the run, he's certainly doing it this year, trying to help Arch, trying to help the offensive line get it going. They're 26th in the nation in rushes per game. But yeah, 55th in the nation in 10+ yard rush plays. I'd imagine they're last or close to last in 20+ yard plays.
They'd have to be.
I mean, Arch, I think, is the only one with 20+ yard runs. So yeah, from the run game this weekend, I want to see more explosivity from the running backs. Maybe that comes from James Simon. Maybe Christian Clark starts to figure stuff out. His vision has been his biggest issue after watching tape. And maybe Gibson has shown some flashes, but sometimes he reminds me of Pacheco. That's who Gibson reminds me of. He is like a bull in a china shop, but he has the vision. And I saw this joke today. It was the money ball. And it was like, this is Isaiah Pacheco, and he runs like a madman, but he's got the vision of a possum.
Yeah.
it was something like that. It was very funny.
Right.
And that's kind of Gibson. But he lacks in vision, but he doesn't dance around. He just gets north and south. Where Clark's problem is he's not seeing the holes, and he's dancing around, and he's just leaving a lot of meat on the bone. I thought Simon was the most decisive out of the bunch. And so I'm excited to see how those guys look and can hopefully generate some explosive run plays. Sam Houston's run defense is a lot better than their pass defense, but their pass defense is one of the worst in the country. So all I need to see from this passing offense, quite literally, I don't need to see 50-yard bombs. I don't need to see any of that. I just need to see the underneath stuff and the intermediate stuff to wide open wide receivers that we've seen every week. I need to see those things get completed, because people sit there and talk about, timing goes along with that. If those passes are being,
but okay, so the play that, again, it's so funny because it kind of dictated how the game was going to go in every single game. But for Texas, the play that sticks out to me in Ohio State is the very first play of the game, where he one hops at 10 yards in front of DeAndre Moore, who's wide open 20 yards down the field, probably going to go for 40, maybe even 50 yards down the field after the catch and run. The play that stands out to me in the UTEP game was it third down or fourth down? It may have been fourth down, where Arch is around the 45-yard line inside UTEP territory. I think it's the first fourth down conversion opportunity that Texas is faced with. And he just has Wingo wide open, sitting at the first down yard line, or at the first yard marker. And he just one hops it, or I think he's a little wide on it, but he rolls out of the pocket. He's throwing across his body, and he just does the Uncle Rico sidearm, and it's just an awful throw. And Wingo sitting there wide open would have easily converted. And all he had to do was sit there and just throw it to him timely. Was not being overly pressured to a point to where he was going to take a sack there. I'd just like to see a little bit more awareness and the timing of it with Arch specifically.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about the offensive line struggles. Pass pro has not been the issue.
Not at all.
Our Arch has had plenty of time to throw. He's had pretty clean pockets for the most part, even against Ohio State. And it's just been the throws not being there. That's been the issue. And, I think something, you and I were pretty blunt in our video Saturday about what we thought about the Texas offense. I just want to echo again for the people that are blaming play calling, just open your eyes and watch the game. It's not play calling when you're just not generating explosive runs against a 3-high look that UTEP ran the whole game. You're not going to be getting deep balls against a 3-high look against anyone that is able to run it. And then on the other side of things,
you can get mid-range to intermediate throws, and you get your wide receivers in space.
Short to intermediate throws, and you can get explosives in the run game. And those were all drawn up and not executed upon the players.
Yep.
And so it is not a play calling issue, not right now. There's times where I've criticized Sark's play calling, though I think he is still a good play caller. I think you can criticize pretty much every play caller that's ever called plays. You can criticize their play calling at one time or another. Especially when you start getting into individual plays you don't like because they didn't work, essentially. But play calling is far from the issue. Scheme is far from the issue for Texas. It just is as simple as Arch Manning getting back to doing what we saw him do last year, hitting open wide receivers. Because people go, those defenses weren't good last year. Well, neither is UTEP and San Jose State. So it is just a mental issue. And then for the run game, getting some explosives. If they can do that stuff this weekend, I'm not going to sit there and say it's solved, but I'll sit there and saying, okay, we at least know it's possible now. We know it's in there.
Yeah. Hey, Jake, I've got a couple of questions for you. Do you like watching football?
I love it, actually.
Do you enjoy winning money?
That's like 1A, 1B on my list of favorite things. Well, I guess my wife's right there too. So we'll say 2A, 2B in case she watches.
And so I know the perfect place where you can do both of those things simultaneously and never have to leave your couch. It's at Underdog, people. Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. Playing Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Get your picks right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. You can play with as little as $1. If you download the app today, you can sign up using promo code HORNS. You score $50 in bonus funds when you play. Just play your first $5. That's not even win your first $5. That's play your first $5. You get $50 in bonus funds using promo code HORNS on Underdog. Again, Jake, one thing that I really, one of my favorite games this weekend, one that I really like is the Baylor and Arizona State game. I've been really, really well making my picks with Baylor for whatever reason this season. And so I've got a big one today. Baylor Bears to win, along with, not separately, but along with Jordan Tyson, higher than 90.5 receiving yards. Sam Levitt, higher than half a rushing touchdown. So at least a rushing touchdown, where he has 3 this season. He's averaging 1 per game. And that Baylor defense is just disastrous. I would think that this is going to be a very high scoring game. And so I also am going higher with Sawyer Robertson passing for over 281 and a half yards. And so, yeah, that's my entry for this weekend. It's the biggest one that I've got, and I'm sticking with it. Believe it or not, I feel pretty good about it. And I don't know why. That typically means I'm not going to do well, but that's my entry. I'm sticking with it.
Yeah, not to cop out, but I'm actually going to be following yours other than the Baylor to win. I don't think Baylor's going to win that football game, but I will be following the stat lines that you that you put down there because I think that to me is the game out of all the options for entries this weekend. That's the one where I feel the best because I feel like it's just pretty surefire that there's going to be a whole lot of offense going
Just
on.
go higher on all.
It's going to be an old school Big 12 game.
If you want your entry to be 3 scrolls up on your phone, just pick higher on every single player, and you're more than likely going to cash in on that. So, but anyway, yeah, Jake, that's one that I really like. They also have fantasy games. They also have the game pick'ems now where you can just pick the winners of the games if that's something you're more into than picking the actual individual stats, which the stats can be difficult because you just don't know how a player is going to show up and play that day, but you can typically have a pretty good idea of how a team is going to come out and perform against their opponent. So again, download the app today, sign up with promo code HORN, score $50 and bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code HORNS. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog, make picks, win money. Must be 18 years or older in Texas to play, 19 years or older in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 years or older in Colorado. For some games, 21 years or older in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present and in-state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms do apply. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. If you're concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369. Jake, I thought I was going to need one of those Hope lines like 2 weeks ago whenever I wasn't hitting any of my entries. And so I was like, and then it took 1 week to turn it around and I'm back, baby. So no, really, to be completely honest, I typically don't ever place more than $10 on any game, maybe 15 if I'm feeling a little frisky.
Just enough to feel a little something, but not
in the
feel
games
something.
in the games that you're not like invested in, like Texas. I don't need to put money on any game of Texas or the Cowboys because it's like it's already stressful enough for me. I don't need the added.
I stupidly live bet Texas last year at halftime to beat Ohio State because I was like, screw it. They played better than I thought they would. I'm just going to go all in.
Yeah.
And that ended up making the loss that much more painful.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I just stay away from doing that with my teams.
I typically just like Baylor, Arizona State. I would care very little about it outside of other than just it might be a really fun Big 12 game with a lot of high scoring and fun highlight reel plays. But aside from that, it's just fun to have a little stake in the game. You know, put your money where your mouth is. And that's really all I use it for. So don't go overboard. Don't be betting your mortgage. Don't be betting kids' futures on it. It's just a little bit of fun money that I set
Unless
aside.
It's on the Bo Nix under,
Yeah,
lower yardage.
If you're going to go Bo Nix under, then you might as well just go all in. You might as well put the house on it, Jake. All right. Hey, speaking of, let's go ahead and look at some of the games going on throughout the country.
I got one thing before we jump into the game. Sorry to cut in.
Is it Bo Nix related?
No, it is not.
Okay,
I'll save
good.
that for
Then
all in Cowboys.
You may continue.
No, this actually Arch Manning. I was kind of reading this to the side while you were talking because sometimes I just don't need to listen to you. But
no one really ever does.
Arch Manning was available earlier this week. And I'd read this, but we'd kind of just not mention it on the podcast. I just wanted to bring it up real quick. We don't have to spend long on it. But, was talking about just, he believes they'll get going. He's been a little frustrated, but they're going to get going. Had a one-on-one meeting with Sark on Sunday. Sounds like maybe not your typical meeting, more of a, let's just get it all out there, get your headspace out there. Let's try to get things figured out. But I thought it's interesting that someone asked him about his mechanical issues this year, and he said it's like flushing a 60-degree golf wedge shot. He's not worried about it long term. He just needs to return to playing the game and having fun.
It's funny. You and I mentioned the golf references. We've made golf metaphors.
Yeah, and that was before he said this
Yeah.
as well when we brought that up. And so just him knowing like, yeah, I know I'm having these mechanical breakdowns in the game. He's like, but I know that's not like my game. That's not a long-term thing. I just got to get back to just playing football and having fun. I think he's been pressing and not having fun. He hasn't looked as loose and as confident as he did last year, just demeanor wise.
That's a great point. And it's not just Arch Manning. This team doesn't look like they are having fun. Like at the end of the day, this team, when you play loose and you look like you're out there having fun, your team typically plays a lot better. And that kind of goes back to what I was saying in yesterday's episode about this team just taking the miscues too hard, and they just beat themselves up, it feels like, and they can't get over it, and they can't move past it. And that's a crazy way to play. You can't play any sport like that, whether that be football, golf, basketball, any sport. But yeah, Jake, let's go ahead and jump into some of the week 4 slated games. First one on the docket. It's going to be a fun one. Number 17, Texas Tech at number 16, Utah. This game, I think Utah has been one of the more impressive looking teams. Again, this will be their first true test. Texas Tech has had a pretty good season as well up to this point. The fact that it's in Utah, it makes me want to lean Utah, and I think the betting lines also favor that as well, and they repeat that because Utah, 3.5-point favorites, and the over-under set at 58.5, Jake.
Yeah, a match between the two teams who have looked really good but haven't played anyone that have a pulse. I mean, that's what Texas Tech has
what
played.
will we learn after this game? Anything?
It just kind of depends. If it's a really close game and it goes down to the wire, I'm going to be sitting there going, they're probably like both not bad teams. I think they're probably both good football teams. But I don't think it's going to make me determine like, oh, this team could be a playoff contender,
Sure.
like actually do well in the playoffs. Cause you look at it, Texas Tech has played Arkansas Pine Bluff, won 67-7. Kent State, who's the worst team in FBS, other than maybe Sam Houston, won 62-14. And they played Oregon State, who is horrible. The Pac-2 is the worst conference in football. And they won that 45-14. No offense to Malik Murphy. But Oregon State 0-3. I think Texas Tech's combined records of opponents is no, Kent State has 1 win. So they have 1 win combined between all of them.
1 and 8.
Kent State's win, mind you, is against Merrimack. So
Mary Mac, all dressed in black,
and
black.
Mind you, it was 21-17 against Merrimack. I don't even know if Merrimack is FCS.
I don't even know if that's a team in America. That feels like a foreign exchange program.
I gotta look this
up. Are you sure they played a real football team? Was that like
FCS? Merrimack is FCS.
Was that like a Bishop Sycamore situation?
They were Division II and moved to FCS in 2019.
Wow.
So real football team, new FCS team.
And the fact that what was the score to that game, by the way?
Kent State beating them.
Yeah.
21-17.
Oh yeah. That's awesome. Yeah.
And Utah's best win is Wyoming. Wyoming is 2-1, or I think 3-1. No, 2-1. They beat Akron 10-0. They beat Northern Iowa 31-7. And then they lost to Utah 31-6. Utah's other wins are against UCLA, who is borderline FCS this year, and Cal Poly, who is FCS. So
that's a baseball
both these
school.
teams have looked impressive. This is also both teams' first time playing anyone with a pulse.
Well, and do either one of these two teams have a pulse? That's another question. So, no, they both do have at least a living pulse. functional pulse. But yeah, Jake, I'm going to take Utah in this game. And I don't know if I'm not going to take the spread because lines like that terrify me. And I do think that this is going to be a pretty close game. But I got Utah to win, and it's strictly because it's at home.
I'm going to take Texas Tech outright just because I think Texas Tech is the more talented team on paper. And for me, what both these teams have done on the field means little to nothing to me for this matchup, at least. So I'm just going to go with who I think is more talented on paper. But I do think Utah's better coached, and it's at home, which is the only thing that makes me concerned about that. I probably will bet this game. It's an 11 o'clock game. It's the best game at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
I'll throw a little skin in it just because I like to make myself stressed at all times on a Saturday.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll take Texas Tech money line. Take them to pull off the upset.
All right, number 22, Auburn at number 11, Oklahoma. Jake, you and I talked briefly about this game before we got on air today. OU 6.5-point favorites at home, over under set at 48.5. I feel like matchup wise, this isn't going to bode well for Auburn.
Nope. I've already placed a bet on OU to cover. I don't like doing that. I didn't like doing it last week against Temple. I think this OU team's pretty good. I think they're a hell of a lot better team than last year because I think their defense is just about as good as last year. And I think their offense is obviously leagues better, assuming Mateer stays healthy because he is their offense. Auburn's defense hasn't been overly impressive to me at all so far this year. I think Mateer is going to have a field day against their defense, and I don't think Auburn's offensive style is going to work out well against OU. Jackson Arnold still doesn't look great throwing the football. He's kind of just been a battering ram of a quarterback. And I think going in and being a one-dimensional football team at Oklahoma is nightmare fuel against that defense and Brett Venables. I also just don't think Auburn is a top 25 football team. And so, yeah, I think OU wins this, and I think they cover.
Yeah, Jake, give me Oklahoma. Yeah, and that's 6.5 point spread. Yeah, it's hard to imagine that they win this game closer than a touchdown. So yeah, I'll take OU to cover as well. All right, Tulane, who is receiving votes at Ole Miss, who may have found a new quarterback in Trinidad Tobago or whatever his name is. Ole Miss 11.5 point favorites. Offense looked much more functional after benching Simmons. Over under at 61.5. Jake, I kind of want to take Tulane to cover this, but I think Ole Miss wins the game.
Hotty toddy, right?
Hotty
Give
toddy.
me Tulane. Give me Tulane money line. Give me Tulane outright in this game.
Like it.
I think Tulane, a lot of talk has been about USF this year. I think Tulane might be the team who makes. They just beat Duke, which was a pretty big win for them. They also, Northwestern's not very good, but they have handled Northwestern very easily. They got
Big Ten team.
BYU at quarterback.
Yep.
For him, and he's been looking really good. I'm not that impressed by the Ole Miss defense. I think this is going to be high scoring. It's a 61.5 over under. When you see a line like that, you hop on the over, even if it's $2, and you ride that ride for that game just for fun. So yeah, give me Tulane outright. More importantly, give me that big fat over with the 61.5.
61.5 is a lofty number, but you're right. At least enjoy the ride. Put $5 on it.
I see this being a 34-31, even 42-39 type game. I think it's going to be really high scoring. I guess with 11.5 points, actually, I'll do the responsible thing. Be responsible when you gamble. Is I'll take Tulane to cover. A little more responsible because that's what my actual bet sheet is going to reflect.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said I think Tulane. I think I want to pick Tulane to cover that. But yeah, let's have a little fun and take the over on that one as well. All right, number 21, Michigan at Nebraska. I think Nebraska wins this one outright.
Yeah, I already jumped on this one because I think this line is going to swing by Saturday. I think anyone with eyeballs hasn't been that impressed by Michigan. Their offense went off last week against someone not good, and I think it was Central Michigan, and yeah, I'm not a big believer in Michigan this year. I don't think their defense is as good as it's been, near as good as it's been the last couple of years. I think Bryce Underwood is going to be a stud, but I don't think the offense around him is that good, and he's a true freshman. Nebraska's got a good home field. I think they're a pretty good team this year, maybe not quite as good as some of the hype was for them going into the year, even though they weren't ranked. But yeah, give me Nebraska to win this one outright as well.
All right, Jake. Next one is South Carolina. Still the status of Lenore Sellers to me is unknown unless you've heard otherwise, in terms of his availability this game. But South Carolina at Missouri, 10.5-point favorites. That tells me that Lenore Sellers is not going to be playing in this game, or they have not also heard word that he is going to be missing or not missing. But the over-under line at 47.5. I think I'm going to stay away from this in terms of betting it because I just have no idea of either one of these two teams. But if I had to pick a winner in this game, considering how terrible South Carolina looked without Lenore Sellers at quarterback, if he is not playing this game, I'm taking Missouri.
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking Missouri regardless of who's playing quarterback. I just think Missouri's a better football team. Actually, go back to our prediction show. I said I thought the hype on South Carolina was too much, just because I didn't believe in the pieces around Lenore Sellers. I feel like I've been pretty validated. I don't think South Carolina's looked good in any of their football games this year. They didn't look that good against a horrendous Virginia Tech team. I mean, Virginia Tech is horrible this year. They just got blown out by Old Dominion, I believe it was. They struggled against South Carolina State and didn't look good in that game. And then got blown out at home against Vanderbilt. Had Vanderbilt clowning them with a video of Sandstorm being played by a recorder. Just rough stuff for South Carolina. Give me Missouri to cover. I think Missouri wins this game handedly.
All right, Jake. Florida, unranked Florida at number 4, Miami. Miami probably playing some of the best football in the country right now. Florida coming off of a very just disgusting game against LSU. 5 interceptions thrown by the quarterback and still lost by only 10.
One of those a pick 6.
And one of those was a pick 6. I think Florida's defense is okay. And if DJ Lagway just doesn't literally hand Miami the game, I could see Florida covering this game. So this one very up in the air for me in terms of which way I want to go in terms of betting the spread. I will take Miami to win this game outright, though.
Part of me has considered picking Florida outright just because I don't think DJ Lagway is going to play that bad again.
It'd be hard to imagine, right?
Yeah, and I do think their defense is pretty good. I don't think it's tough because Miami looked really good last week. I mean, they blew the doors off of USF.
Yeah.
I think it's 49-12 was the final. I'm going to take Miami to cover. I'm just going to trust what we've seen on the field and not what I think Florida can be. I actually would prefer Florida to win this game. So there's a little hype around Florida going into the Texas game. I mean, it just would help also the coaches be like, forget about the USF game. They were close against LSU and then they beat Miami. But I just can't pick it to happen when Florida has just found ways to lose football games.
Yeah.
And Miami's looked really impressive. That's just the bottom line. So I'll take Miami and I'll take them to cover.
All right, number 9, Illinois at number 19, Indiana. IU, Jake, is that Indiana?
That's Indiana. Illinois should be ILL. Genius.
Okay. Hey, easy, buddy. Easy.
When I put that down, here's the thing, Tanner. When I put that down, I was going to type in Indiana. I was like, let's do a little litmus test on Tanner. I literally said that to myself. I was like, I bet he goes, is this Illinois or
Is this
this
Illinois?
Indiana?
Hey, it's a small joke with a little bit of truth in it.
Maybe we should start alphabetical order.
You also misspelled Illinois, so don't even start getting on to me about that.
Oh, I had a typo. You're welcome.
A typo or a misspelling, those are two different things, buddy boy.
It literally underlines it red, and I didn't bother.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. I'll take Illinois to win outright in this game, Jake. I think that's a terrible line to begin with. I think Illinois should be favored in this game, regardless of rankings and home or away.
Yeah, bet's already been placed on this one. I hate to agree with you, but I have already placed one on Illinois money line.
I'm sport smart. I'm not book smart. I never claimed to be.
That's fair. I'm not going to pretend to be either, but it was still funny that I thought about it when I put it in there, and then you delivered. It's like I've known you most of my life.
Yeah, that's too funny. All right, Jake, last game that we're going to cover, Sam Houston State at the University of Texas. Texas is 40.5-point favorites, over under set at 51.5. I think Sam Houston covers that spread because I don't think Texas is going to score 40 points. I'm going to say 35-0 Texas wins.
All right, this is my last time. Or actually, I think I picked UTEP to cover, or at least I said Texas wouldn't score as many points as we were hoping. I'm going to flip that this week. I'm going to give, while the whole world's crashing down everywhere else, we had our very honest reaction Saturday. We've been honest about the offense. I think they're going to find it this week. I don't know what that means. I'm not saying that means they found it the rest of the season. I think this offense will have a good game against a horrendous defense. I'm going to take Texas to cover. I'm going to take the over, and I'm going to take Texas to win this game 52-3.
All right. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is All in Horns, and we will see you all tomorrow to our immediate reaction episode as the Texas Longhorns take on the Sam Houston State Bearcats. I'm Tanner Carlson. That's Jake Jimerson. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Excuse me, that was disgusting. As always, ladies and gentlemen, hook 'em.
All in Sports Network. We love sports.